In this video, we're going to talk again about story problems and variables on both sides, but in particular, we're going to talk about solving them once we have an equation written. So let's go ahead and get started. Here are the instructions, and this is going to match just what's on your assignment. So we're going to walk through a couple of these. First, complete the story below so that it can be represented by the equation 14x equals 16x minus 12. As I look at this problem, it says Pablo is going to buy X copies of books and store A and store B. So because there are two stores and I have an equation with variables on both sides, I'm going to come up here and draw my line. I know that I am comparing these two stores. So it says store A charges blank dollars per copy with no other charges or discounts. Now which side of the equation represents this? Well, it's going to be the left side, because I have just 14x, which represents how much I'm paying per book. Okay, X copies, 14x, that is $14 per book. So store A charges $14 per copy of the book with no other charges or discounts. Now that matches up, no other charges or discounts, because I'm not adding anything to 14x and I'm not subtracting anything from 14x. Store B, so let's go to the right-hand side of our equation. Store B charges how much per copy? Well, look at the X, the number that's next to X. Since I'm going to be repeatedly paying for these copies, and that X stands for the number of copies, 16 is how much I'm going to be paying for each one. So store B charges $16 per copy, and there is a blank. Okay, now I can see, added onto this equation, I have a minus 12. So there is a $12. Now, is that amount going up or are we going down? Okay, we're going down. So we don't have any additional charges. Okay, if my cost is going down, we have a discount. We have a discount of $12, and the total costs with charges and discounts is, okay, if I'm comparing the two, okay, they're the same for both stores. How do I know they're the same? This equal sign right here is another name for same. All right, what do I do from there? Well, I'm going to come down here and write down my equation so I have some space to work. And we're going to solve for x. We want to figure out the total cost is going to be the same. Here's my equal sign. When Pablo purchases how many books. So I look at this equation and I see that I have variables on both sides. Now remember, if I have variables on both sides, but only one of them has a number, so here's my only number, regular number, negative 12, this is automatically my number side. Now, would it work if I did it the other way around? You bet. But this is going to make things a little more simple. So since this is my number side and the left side is my variable side, I need to decide what to move. Well, on this left side, I'm happy with it. It has 14x and that is just my only variable. On the right side, this is my number side. So I am unhappy with 16x. How do I get rid of it? Because it is a positive, I'm going to subtract 16x from both sides of that equal sign. And I'm going to total what I have. I have negative 2x is equal to negative 12. How do I remove that negative 2? Remember, it's not minus 2. It's saying negative 2 times x. So I'm going to divide to undo my multiplication. And I'm left with x is equal to 6. So for this equation and for this story, if Pablo bought 6 copies of the book, it wouldn't matter which store he chose because they would charge the same. All right, your turn. Go ahead and complete this story so that it can be represented by the equation 18x plus 12 equals 22x. Pause the video, and when you're ready, go ahead and press play to check your answer. All right, let's go ahead and check that answer. Restaurant A. Jenny's going to buy some pizza. Restaurant A charges how much per pizza? If I look at the left-hand side of my equation, okay, per pizza is going to be the number attached to my variable, so $18 per pizza. And there is a, there's a $12. What? Is it going up or is it going down? Well, it's not going down, so I don't have a discount. It's going up, so there must be a $12 delivery fee for restaurant A. Restaurant B only has 22x. So they charge $22 per pizza, which is slightly more, but they don't charge they don't charge a fee to deliver. As I look at this equation, I can see that I've set these two scenarios equal. So the total cost with all the charges and all the discounts is the same for both restaurants. Okay, Jenny wants to know how many pizzas she can order, and the cost is the same. To solve this equation, I'm going to write it back down. Okay, this is automatically my number side since it's the only number. I'm going to subtract 18x for both sides because I don't want any variables. 12 is equal to, well, what is 22 minus 18? That gives me a grand total of 4x divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So if Jenny ordered 3 pizzas, it wouldn't matter which restaurant she went to, they would charge the same. Okay, and I know they're the same because of this equal sign right here. All right, we're going to deal with one that has some decimals, so make sure you have your calculator handy so that we can use that to our advantage. So a small publishing company is planning to publish a new book. The production costs will include a one-time fixed cost. Okay, so that's going to have no variable, just a heads up. And a variable cost, such as printing. So this is something that it's going to be per book, per or each or every. And I'm going to include a variable next to it. The one-time cost, fixed cost, will total $44,880. The variable cost will be 10.75. Okay, so let's go ahead and write the expression for the costs of my book. So I have 44,880 is one-time cost, so no variable, plus my variable cost, which is $10.75 per book, so I'm going to put an X. And the publisher will sell the finished product to bookstores at a price of $20.75 per book. So my situation for my seller, they're going to charge $20.75 per book. So that's another variable cost. How many books must the publisher produce and sell so that the production cost equals the sales from the money sales? So this is the production. And this is the profit, the sales. The question asks how many books must be published to be produced so that they are equal. So because I see that word equal, I'm going to set these two expressions equal to each other. So here we go. 44,880 plus 10.75x is equal to 20.75x. I do have variables on both sides, and I'm going to go ahead and solve. There's only numbers over here, so this is my number side. I'm going to make this my variable side. Subtract 10.75x. Luckily, even though that's decimals, that should be fairly easy for me to subtract. So 44,880, this zeroes out, equals, well, 75 cents, eliminate 75 cents, and 20 minus 10 is 10x. I'm going to solve by dividing, X is equal to, when I divide in my calculator, 44880 divided by 10 is 4488. So the publisher must sell 4,488 copies in order for me to break even. All right. Last one, and this is on your own. I want you to take a second and I want you to try this. Press pause, and when you're ready, go ahead and press play, and you can check your answer. All right. Eric will rent a car for the weekend. He can choose one of two plans. The first plan has no initial fee but costs 90 cents per mile driven. Well, it's right here. Plan A. Plan 1. No initial cost, but 90 cents per mile. So I'm 0.9x. And I'm not going to add anything or subtract anything because there's no other costs. Plan 2 has an initial fee of $60. So they charge more up front and an additional 70 cents per mile driven. So less money per mile, but more money up front. How many miles would Eric need to drive for the two plans to cost the same? So because I want the two plans to cost the same, I'm going to put an equal sign in between them. And because X stands for the miles I'm driving, I'm just going to solve for X. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the only side with my number, regular old number. So this is going to be my number side. This is going to be my variable side. Subtract my variable on the right-hand side. And I am left with 0.20 cents. 60. I'm going to use my calculator. No, before I do that, I got to decide what I'm dividing. I'm multiplying by 20 cents, so I'm going to divide the other side by 20 cents. So 60 divided by 0.2. Clear all. 60 divided by 0.20 gives me 300. So X is equal to 300. Eric would have to drive 300 miles in order for the costs of the plans to be the same. All right, if you have any questions, please reach out. Otherwise, go ahead and start your assignment on Alex.